Greetings, family. It's Empress D. Obviously, I'm out here in nature, and it's bustling out here. You can hear the wildlife. They're back, and they're around, and they're about, and they're scurrying around. It's so lively in the park now. And of course, the people are out as well. It's busy, and it's nice and green, and it's spring, right? Still a little cool for spring, but it's spring nonetheless. And yeah, animals are here. They're back, and the park is vibrant now. Okay. So yeah, I hope everybody's getting a chance to experience the park every day. Just a little bit of time every day. Wow, if you can't get to the park, at least in your backyard. If you don't have a backyard, at least on your or balcony. If you don't have a balcony, then you got to go outside. That forces you to have to actually go to a green space, right? And if not that, a walk, just with your thoughts though, right? Not with your radio or Walkman or whatever. Walkman, that's back in the day, sorry. Phone or iPod or whatever. You know what I'm talking about, family. But without any distractions, just your thoughts, right? It's valuable time. When I think back, I've been doing this for years because I stopped running with music and books a long time ago. And I used to run a lot before the pandemic, and even in the winter. And yeah, I stopped. I just used to run with just my thoughts, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Right? It was that time for me to just think. Right? Because my body was just doing something automatically, but it was just time for my mind to just roam. Right? And that's what nature does. It does things in twofold. It benefits you twofold, and probably more than just in two ways. But the two ways I'm thinking about now are, firstly, just being in this real environment where man is not tampering with this area. This area is just thriving as it should, for the most part, right? The animals are doing their cyclic thing. They're just doing their thing. They're just being and existing as they were created to, right? Us as men, or humans, are manipulated, or have been manipulated, to, not just be who we are supposed to be. We're manipulated to think that we are supposed to be a certain way, right? Or manipulated by the environment that we're in. So many different forces outside of us actually shape us to who we are, instead of us really just authentically learning to listen to that inner voice and allowing that voice to guide us and present that to the world, because that's our real self, right? We've been all programmed against doing that. So we have to start to recognize that and change things, right? And so when you're in nature, you're just in a natural environment. It encourages you to recognize that this is what it is. We're all like this. We're all created in perfect harmony to exist without effort, right? This is the universe. It just exists. It just goes and flows, right? And it goes in patterns, and it goes back to those universal laws. And being out in nature just reminds you of that, right? And so it helps you. It helps you to recognize that we are all one, and to remember what we are and who we are, right? And what else does nature do? The other thing I was thinking of is the actual visual aesthetics, being in the green space, helping to open your heart chakra, admire what you're seeing, and also I always encourage that time alone, right? That time alone helps you to just reconnect to yourself. So, a couple of benefits of being out in nature. There's so many, right? And that's why I encourage you guys to do it, right? Like, I hope that everybody watching is recognizing that we're in some interesting times. This is not regular times, right? We've been in the last 2+ years in some really challenging times. And I keep saying this over and over, but the purpose of these times, I think, is for us to wake up to who we really are, right? And that involves getting to know ourselves, right? And I think that's the whole purpose. It forces you to slow down. And when you slow down, you're supposed to think, right? But a lot of us avoid doing that by various methods. We know that, people use various methods to take up space in their mind so that their mind is not still and quiet, so they're not forced to examine themselves, right? It's crazy. Anyway, some interesting times we're in, and I think the whole purpose is for us to kind of recognize that we are more than just this person named whatever our name is, that is supposed to work a 9-to-5 job, make good money to be able to vacation, and like to do this cookie cutter standard life. We're not all meant to live the same way, right? We're all meant to be free, free to explore what our passions are. And I always say our passions are supposed to be able to sustain us, right? Each of us have a talent and a gift that we can offer to our community or to the world, right? Which is our community, right? We all have a gift that we can share with others, and that gift should be able to provide us monetary or whatever currency needed to sustain oneself in a society, right? I would think, right? And that way people wouldn't be working because they would be doing what they love, right? And there's a balance and there's a joy to it and a pride to it, and you're working for yourself, but this environment that we've been raised in and conditioned in and socially engineered in has encouraged us to all follow the same path, right? And there's only a finite amount of jobs, right? When you think about it, right? There's only a finite amount of careers or avenues that you can go. You can list them, and then I guess you could be really creative and make your own, but really it's to make the type of money that you need to make in order to be comfortable in the society. You have to have a specialty in one of these higher paying industries. You just have to. And if you don't, you're struggling, man. And it's not cool, right? It doesn't have to be this way, right? I think it's by design. We have been socially engineered to be perpetually unhappy, right? The more we get to know ourselves and discover who we are, the happier we be. What was the song? Oh, there's a childhood song. The more we get together, the happier we will be. It's true too, but I think before we can get together, we have to know ourselves well, right? We have to get to know ourselves, and that's one thing that a lot of people neglect to do, right? A lot of people are able to form good relationships with people and relate to people to a certain extent, but you can only dive into as deep into a relationship as deep as you've delved into knowing yourself, and that's a fact, right? So family, that's what's up. I'm gonna just spend the rest of the time just chilling and enjoying the evening or the afternoon. It's overcast. It's starting to spit right now, but it's nice out here. And I don't know if you can hear the water, but like I sit when I just have the water in the background for the video, but I usually turn around and face the water. It's so serene, right? Such a gift, me being able to come out here. And I think that all the time. I'm so grateful and I'm so lucky that I can, right? Because I'm sure there's people out there that wish they could, right? And I just physically can't. So family, let's be grateful for what we've got going on, right? Because there's always somebody out there that doesn't have what we have, right? So we have to have to be grateful. Family, thank you for taking the time to listen to this message, okay? I love and I value each and every one of you. One love.